can only watch it for the first time once. It'll be interesting to see what we catch and what we don't.
Did you ever play the video game Mass Effect?
This is where Babylon 5 is becoming Babylon 5.
That was great. I love that.
100% completely accurate, definitive ranking of Babylon 5.
I love it so much.
We're officially into it, Jeff.
The year is 2025. The name of the podcast, Babylon 5, for the second time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the second time. My name is Brent Allen.
And I'm Jeff Akin. Brent and I used to be Star Trek podcasters. Then we watched Babylon 5 for the first time and everything changed. So now we're watching this incredible series for the second time, catching all the things, big and little, that there's no way we could have caught the first time around.
That's right. We are watching this for the second time. We've already examined it. We've analyzed it. We've gone through, but you know what? There's stuff we didn't catch the first time around. There are messages we didn't know about the first time around, and we are looking for those messages that not only we missed, but just what's right there. What is it JMS is giving us? What can we learn? What can we pull? What are the things that are mirrors to society for us today? What are things that give us hope that things can be better in the future, or what things just tell us how to be better human beings to one another? That being said, yes, we have seen this show before, which means from this point forward, everything from here on out is full of spoilers. The no spoilers warning is away. It is gone. We are able and allowed to say anything from any point in the franchise, in the show, out of the show, from any of the other spinoffs, movies, anything. It's all fair game for Jeff and I to talk about. So if you have not watched this show for the first time all the way through for yourself, stop the show right now. Don't listen to any more of this show. Jeff and I have the perfect show back for it. It's called Babylon 5 for the first time. Go back and catch us then and get caught up, and then you certainly can be a part of this, because trust us with this show, it's better that way.
It really is. This week, Brent, we're watching an episode called And Now for a Word.
And now for a word.
I remember loving this episode. This is one that I'm so interested to watch again. And I'm even more interested maybe to hear what you're going to talk about here in a moment, because we have a lens on the history of this episode. This was one you specifically got run through the ringer on.
It did. Yeah.
This one has left some marks on us, but I have really fond memories of this episode. This is one of them I've really, really been looking forward to. Do you remember what you thought of it?
This episode holds a special place in my heart for that reason you just said there.
Yep.
Jeff, this is the clip show that's not a clip show.
It is. Yep.
It's a clip show that's not a clip show. And I know I can hear all of you out there right now. I heard you the first time. You're screaming at me, it's not a clip show, which I have to say, yeah, you're right. That's what I said. It's not a clip show. It's a clip show without being a clip show. It's not a clip show.
It's not one. Yeah.
It's not one.
You heard the without being. That's the key part of this.
And I remember liking the episode. I thought it was really creative. I thought it was really, really well done. But I also remember the other side of being somebody who has I don't know if you can call what we do binging, Jeff. Like, because we wait a week between each episode, but like we don't necessarily have we don't have to wait in between seasons, or we don't have to wait during breaks and stuff like that, right? Like, as somebody who just came through and watched the previous 36 episodes, it was not an episode I needed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I really loved I loved how it was put together. I appreciated what it was trying to do, because you know what? Not everybody watching this at this point in TV had this information, and JMS had to find a way to give people this information. And I had a lot of respect for this episode, but man, did I get it after.
You really did. You really, really did.
Oh man. Now that being said, Jeff, that's what we remember. I did happen to go back and listen to our first.
You did.
Our first thing, and I know what we actually said.
Okay.
We both watched this one twice, so this is not our second time. This is actually our third time.
Well, we watched a lot of them for the two.
We did. Because you got to prep for the show, right?
Exactly.
But this will be for the second time, like outside of that. But we did watch it twice, and you and I both had the same opinion. Great first watch. It was a lot of fun. But the second time we watched it, kind of boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that, just because the clip shows tend to be boring the second time around.
Yeah. Yeah. You really did not like the performance of the guest star.
Okay.
The news anchor lady.
Oh.
You were not a fan, but you also said you thought that's how it was supposed to be. Like, that's how she's supposed to act. You're not supposed to like what she's doing.
She's my Byron, according to you.
I think it holds water. I could be wrong, but I think it holds water. Also, who's Byron?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I do not remember. I called out the idea that because the show, you said it in your recap that this is 36 hours on Babylon 5. We're gonna do 43 minutes of 36 hours on Babylon 5.
Mhm.
To which I said, Jeff, what episode number is this?
Oh,
And you looked it up and you went, well, it's episode 37. I went, so what we literally have up to this point is 36 hours of previously on Babylon 5, and we're covering that here.
Almost as if we're going back and covering things that have happened already.
I think it still holds up. I love that idea. I said that I felt like this was an episode kind of pushed on JMS by the studio. I would like to retract that. I think this is just JMS in his brilliance going, hey, I know what's getting ready to happen. And I know that there's a lot of people who have not seen the things that they're going to need to see coming up. And so let's fill people in on what's going on.
I have some really interesting stuff on that here in a little bit.
By the way, if you're trying to get somebody to watch Babylon 5 and they keep getting stuck in season 1 because season 1 is just a slog to get through, and honestly, so's the first half of season 2, giving them the episodes to skip and then say, hey, once you get to Coming of Shadows, just watch everything from there on out. You can do that because this episode exists.
Because it covers everything.
It will cover everything they need that will get them where else they're going. I posited that Ivanova was basically JMS's like personal mouthpiece within the show.
Okay.
Yeah, like last week she had a lot of the, this station is about something, although I know that line was written by Peter David, but still, the great, this is just a, last best hope to make a buck. Like, why are we doing all this merchandising stuff? This sucks. And now she's kind of having the same thing about this lady here. I said that I had a lot of respect for this episode. It did what it needed to do and it did it in a rather creative way. You said that this was one of the more Star Trek-y episodes, like just in the messages.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the messages it's really trying to push out, like this was a very Star Trek episode. We had talked about how we really thought that because this was that quote unquote clip show, it's not a clip show. This is a sign that everything in Babylon 5 is about to ratchet up.
Oh,
like
interesting.
this is the, hey, before we get on this next bit, let's pause and go, here's everything you missed, because this is about to go and shoot straight up. I think what's next week's episode, Jeff?
It's I don't know if you're gonna remember it or not. It's just called In the Shadow of Zahadum.
What's Zahadum? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, we're gonna learn about the shadow.
We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. In other words, I was right. Or we were right. Like,
yeah.
This show rockets. I mean, this is. Have you ever read? I know you have, Jeff, because you've written it with me. Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney,
yeah,
or
right.
Tron, or Velocicoaster, or the Hulk, or any of these that have like a magnetic launch, not just a up the hill and then they drop you, but it's a.
Mm-hmm.
That's what In the Shadow of Zahadum does. It's just you're gone. Although some people could say that the first season and a half have been the
true.
Mm-hmm. Whatever. We both had kind of a moment of reckoning, a moment of realization, I should say, in that we were really beginning to come to terms with the idea that we would not necessarily get the redemption of Londo Mollari in this season. That it could go seasons.
Yeah, maybe it might.
And I got to tell you, I could totally see why people kept people were making memes. Hey, council chambers and Patreon folk. I think this is good for all Patreon. Okay. Not all Patreon, anybody on Discord. All right. On our Discord channel, Jeff, there was a red sector.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You and I were not allowed. Actually, we're still not allowed into it. But I know that in red sector, you guys were making memes.
Some of those memes made their way out.
A lot of them made their way out. I would love to see those again, especially any of them that have to do with the redemption of Londo Mollari, because that's just something we just kept talking about.
Literally,
Mollari.
Is this the redemption of Londo Mollari?
And we're like, Jeff, I don't think we're gonna get it this season. I think it's possible this could go seasons. And you, my friend, said, yeah, it's gonna go up till about I don't know, season 4.
Oh, okay.
So good job, Jeff.
Real close.
Oh my word. I would argue we got redemption for Lana Malari really established in season 4. It was completed by season 5.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, season 4 is where the turn really happened for him. So also we just gushed for like 20 minutes over Peter Jurczyk and Andreas Katsoulis.
Pretty appropriate.
That actually could just be the show, and it'd be everybody. We would all listen to it because it's right. So, Paul over in our council chambers, who's joining us, hello to our council chambers, says, I remember at one point you declared that Londo was unredeemable, and maybe I'm wrong. You're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
He is unredeemable. And there was another point later on where I said, actually, you know what? The truth is nobody is unredeemable.
And this goes on to kind of prove that.
And that's part of the journey. That's the roller coaster that was Babylon 5 for the first time, in that in order to get to the top, you got to go to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It happens there. So that being said, Jeff, that's what I found out from us. Jeff, did you catch anything out there from the great maker himself about this episode?
There's not a lot out there on this one. I have
nothing that corroborates our theories about what's going on. We need to call Joe up and be like, hey, talk to us.
I will corroborate our theories, actually, much like has happened in the last few weeks. Many of our offerings and our thoughts of this show get validated here. I just have 2 things for before we get into the episode. There's a handful during the episode itself. There's just not a lot on this one. But he says that this is probably the most unusual episode to date. It's so unusual that he was very concerned about Warner's approving it. So this isn't a thing pushed on him by the studio. In fact, he was afraid that it wouldn't pass muster. So he wrote a letter that explained why this episode was done and why it should be produced. And we'll talk about that in more detail when we get to the messages portion of this conversation. But he said he wouldn't be putting in for a script payment until he knew they would accept it and let him make it.
Oh, wow.
So he really, really strongly believed in the concept behind this one. And then I'm going to read this. It's a relatively long statement. And then I want you to summarize this in as few words as possible. Be my chat GPT here and summarize this statement in as few words as possible.
I'm sorry. Have you met you and I?
Oh, you got this.
You want me to be the one who is less verbose?
You got this. Trust me. I'm leaning into your strength here. I got it.
All right.
He says, for those who've been nudging other folks to try out B5, you may want to tell them that this coming batch of episodes is probably the best time to dive in. In particular, our second new show airing the first week of May is designed, in part, to help new viewers coming to the show to catch up on background. What's another way to say that, Brent?
It's a clip show without being a clip show.
Bingo. He says, no, it's not a clip show or anything like that.
It's not a clip show.
But I think you'll like what I did with it.
Oh, hey, I have a lot of respect for this episode. It was a really creative way to do a clip show without having it be a clip show.
And the reason it's not a clip show is because we don't go back and watch the clips.
Yeah.
That's the only thing missing. That is my theory I'm putting forth as we go into this. We're just gonna be like, they just tell you everything.
But here's the thing. Like, clip shows serve 2 purposes. One, they're a really cheap way to make an episode when you need to save that money for another episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really cheap. 2, they do serve to provide some background on what's going on.
Yes.
And I would say 9 times out of 10, Jeff, maybe even 99 times out of 100, it's mostly just to save money.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely is it moving a story forward. Very rarely is it recapping previously on. Right? Okay, maybe 95 out of 100. Like very rarely does it ever do that. This one did its job of let's fill everybody in on what's going on, because I don't know how much money this is a bottle episode, I guess.
Yeah.
But Babylon 5 as a whole is designed to be a bottle show
in and of itself.
Yeah. So cool.
Let's stop talking about it, Brent, and let's watch it.
Let's do that for sure.
Welcome to all of our viewers and listeners that are joining us for the first time. If you haven't joined us for a while, this happens to be not a clip show that we're heading into at all, but you've chosen a great one to start with nonetheless. If you're not sure what's happening next, let me break it down. Brent and I have been talking about an episode we watched like 3 years ago.
Gosh.
Isn't that nuts? It's been a long time. So great. You watched a long time ago. We're not going to rehash that. We're going to actually bring the episode up. We're going to watch it right here in real time with you. If you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to see the cut up edited version of that. It's going to look nice. All of the dumb things that we say, all you're hearing is the best, the absolute best of what we have to say. And then cutting everything up to honor copyright and those other things. If you want to hear all the things that didn't quite make the cut, that are part of that full version of everything, you can see that almost a week ahead of time, most weeks, over on our Patreon page at patreon.com/Bad
Nerds.
And if you're listening to this on the audio podcasting app, you're still going to hear that reaction. We don't want you guys to miss the conversations that happen. We could save them for the very end, but we wind up having them in the middle of the episode anyway. So we'll make sure that you guys are there for that. And then certainly we'll meet you guys on the other side to share our thoughts and talk about the messages, new or otherwise, that we uncover. So Jeff, let's watch an episode.
Let's watch it.
We interrupt our regular evening schedule to bring you the following special program.
I wonder what was regularly scheduled for
September
this.
16th, 2259. And the Interstellar Network News presents
I love that we
36
get
Hours
an
on Babylon
actual
5
date.
with your host,
Yeah.
Cynthia Torkman, reporting
How does she
live
get
from
to
the
that
ISN
platform?
News Center in Geneva.
Only the Mars colony, plagued by scattered groups of separatists who have used acts of terror to intimidate the Earth-loyal majority.
Let's go
has
ahead
proven
and
more controversial
demonize
than
Mars.
the Earth Alliance station, Babylon 5. From its highly publicized debut 3 years ago, recent polls indicate a growing dissatisfaction with the time, money, and effort consumed by this spaceborne community.
That's his commentary on
So
Warner
tonight,
Brothers right
we
now.
take you to the center of the controversy.
Is it really?
No,
Science
but it'd
and
be great if it
that's-
was.
scientists
Yeah,
have
yeah.
spent 36
Yeah.
hours aboard Babylon 5, asking hard questions, and on occasion, getting in a little over our heads.
Non-transport Natan, return to your holding position at once. I repeat, return to your...
This is
Sorry,
so
Mr. Malios, break off.
the
Not
intro
talk,
to
not
a
talk.
ride.
Oh, yeah.
A terrible explosion, conspiracy involving several of these individuals, lies, deception, and the deaths of hundreds of people. All this and more in 36 hours aboard Babylon
That turned
5.
on such a
Here on the
dime.
Interstellar Network.
Expect the unexpected. It's a
We'll be
lot
back
of
with our
fun.
story
Lies,
right after
deception, conspiracy.
36 Hours, sponsored by Interplanetary Expeditions, exploring the past to create a better future.
I love that tag.
That's a great little line.
Yeah.
The bodies of the dead and wounded
There's
are
that
being
great
brought to
Franklin
the central
scene here.
docking area for transfer to various med lab facilities on Babylon 5, which are already working beyond maximum capacity.
His head elevated 30 degrees minimum or he'll choke on his own blood.
Can you say what
Let's put the
was?
device up that shines the light over top of him so it
Captain
can heal him.
Sheridan, Cynthia Torkman, ISN News, do you have any comment on what just happened here?
No comment at this time. Doctor,
What about the Narn vessel that attacked the transport?
we dispatched a fighter wing to apprehend them. We won't know anything more until they're in protective custody. If you will excuse me, please.
This is exactly the kind of behavior that endangers the very purpose of Babylon 5. This place is dedicated to finding peaceful solutions to our problems.
I love
For
it.
the Narn to carry their vendetta against our people into neutral territory like is reckless and irresponsible.
We're such victims, we
And though we
Centauri.
mourn our own losses, we have felt strongly about our friends from Earth ever since we first encountered your world 100 years ago.
Hey, thanks for telling us how long it's been since we've known you.
I wonder if right now there are talks going on
And the
between
attack on the
Centauri and
transport
Earth and
was
the alliance we're going to hear about,
completely
and he's greasing the skids.
Oh, absolutely.
He's lying.
Then can you tell us why your ship opened fire on the Centauri transport?
I'll issue a statement after I've consulted with my government.
Are you saying your government sanctioned this attack?
No.
Do you think attacks
I
of
like
this
that
nature put
Andrea
everybody
says
aboard Babylon
issue.
5 in unnecessary jeopardy?
Right.
Not issue.
You're already
It's
in far
issue.
greater jeopardy than you can possibly imagine.
You enjoy working with everyone?
Look at the other person
Yes.
in the background, just like,
Calm.
what are they
pleasant
doing over
environment.
there?
I don't think I've ever seen anyone get upset here.
I guess it's the old joke.
So
You
good.
don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps. I suppose there is a certain attraction to being out here on the edge like this, a new frontier.
New Frontier is right.
He's so
When
pretty.
Babylon 5 went online in 2257, odds makers from New Vegas to Lords of London were predicting it wouldn't last 6 months.
So, note from JMS New Vegas is on Mars.
Oh,
So they're terrorists and horrible. Also, we're going to go with their bookies.
Babylon 5 has been through some dramatic changes in administration since it became operational. Would you attribute these changes to bad management?
Oh.
Or to quote former Senator Hidoshi, is this horse just too big for anybody to ride?
Changes are part of the military life. Everybody goes into this knowing that tomorrow you could be someplace that you hadn't even
That was the
heard of
moment
24
he's like,
hours ago.
here's the setup.
I've been stationed
Back
so
off.
many places over the years, I can't even remember most of them. But you're right.
They're pointing out the phrase
Some days
former
this
Senator
is
Hidoshi.
one hell of a big horse.
Living your days and nights in a big tin can surrounded by vacuum. I remember my first time on a transport.
Isn't that what we are on a planet, though? Just not a tin can?
Just a kid, maybe 17.
A rock hurtling through space.
A buddy of mine was
surrounded by a
messing
vacuum.
around and zipping through the halls, and he hid in one of the airlocks. I don't know, I guess he was going to try to scare us or something.
Dude, Biggs is so good. Look, he is there
Just
right
as I
now.
got close, he must have hit the wrong button because the air doors slammed shut, space doors opened, and he just flew out into space. Now, the one thing they never tell you is that you don't die instantly in vacuum.
Oh, really? Because I've only heard it like 18
Just
times.
hung there against the black. You could see that he was trying to breathe, but there was nothing. And one thing I remember when they pulled in his body, his eyes were frozen. A lot of people make jokes about spacing somebody, about shoving somebody out an airlock. I don't think it's funny. Never will.
So, first of all, that is a frequent threat.
It is.
And it's a very clear and explicit description of it. Fabio in here says, I know you guys love to hate on Franklin, but this is a great scene. Jeff, I just from our original episode that we did, you specifically called this out. Like, I know we give Franklin a lot of crap, but I need to give a lot of kudos to Richard Biggs for how he acts and the way he does this. Like, he is great at what he does. He's good at his job. And that has to be the scene you're talking about there.
Yeah. I was going to say, I bet in our first watch, I talked trash about Franklin and, oh, look how he thinks, blah, blah, or whatever. This was incredible. Even in this time in Franklin's life, we're not high on him now. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
This is really good.
And I mean, it's so easy to see later Stephen Franklin in this moment right here and just be like, yeah, see, look, he's right there. He's always been there.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder about something though.
Yeah.
This is just the logistics. When they what did he say? When they roped his body back in, when they got his body back in, they pulled him back in. That's what it was. When they pulled him back in, how does that work? Like, was somebody standing there and like they lassoed him? Like they
right.
And somebody's like pulling him back in. Like, did they shoot something at him that like, grappled him or something? Like, I really wonder what the mechanic of they pulled him back in.
Well, I'm going to ask you to put your astrophysicist hat on and check my understanding, but things don't stand still in space, right?
Like, right.
Right. In fact, that's one, and we've talked about this, one of the reasons why time travel, as we understand it, couldn't happen, because if I go back to 1714 or whatever, the Earth is physically in a different place.
Yes, what you're saying, like Back to the Future, DeLorean disappears and then reappears in that same place in that same, just in a different time, could not happen because the Earth would be in a different spot. Like even if you go back 30 years at 859 at this point, like we're even in your revolving around the sun, you're still not in exactly the same spot. You're further down the road. So it's not a you would have to be moving through space and time when you're traveling.
Yeah.
If that was a thing.
So that makes me think, with a body floating out there, if it wasn't lassoed and somehow connected, it would be hundreds of miles away by the time everything he described finished.
Yeah, and Nia rightly points out the solar system's moving too. Yeah, everything is moving. The galaxy is moving. Everything's moving, and it's all relative. You just got to be relative with what you're talking about. But I do also just want to point out before we hit play here, time travel is entirely possible outside of my own personal theories about how it works. We do know that you can travel forward in time.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know that you can travel backwards in time. So, but we do know now. Like, we know how to do it right now.
Yeah.
We can do it right. Like, that's real. We can do it right now. So
also, I would argue we are doing it right now.
Oh, there we go.
Babylon 5 are considerably safer. The last 3 years have shown that the station itself is anything but secure. In its first year of operation, there were half a dozen murders, 3 acts of sabotage, including a bomb that blew out.
I love the
levels,
people in the
and a
background, like
barely
trying to
averted
get like
attack by
on
the Vorlon
TV.
Empire. Since then, there have
Whoa,
been 50
what was
deaths
that
by
guy doing?
violence. So
Oh,
question
Jeff. Okay, I want you to keep an eye on
shown that
long
the
hair
station
dude.
itself-
long-haired dude
literally
in the like gold shirt with the white collar.
Mhm.
And then there's the guy next to him with the weird like
dashiki
fez
thing, yeah.
or whatever on, right? Watch him and you interpret what you're seeing
Is
here.
anything but secure. In its
All right.
first year of
Looking-
operation, there were
looking
half
around,
a dozen murders,
trying to
3
get
acts of
on-
sabotage, including a bomb that blew out 2
Looking
levels,
there,
and a
and
barely
right
averted
about-
attack by the Vorlon Empire.
Oh, he's going for it. He was
what was he doing there?
He's either going to bite his ear or kiss him.
It was one of the two, right? Like he was like,
He's like,
eat that dude.
I've been waiting forever to tell this guy what I feel about him. What better time than right now?
I love the security guy trying to break it up, like everybody behind him. Of course, there's okay. What is this alien over here?
That's a Marcab.
The Marcab. The Marcab is like just chilling, like right. He looks like he's about to shank her, dude.
I know.
There have been 50 deaths by violence. So the question remains, given its cost in lives and money, is Babylon 5 serving any
Now you see
useful
me?
purpose,
No, you
or,
don't.
as we're about to see, is the whole thing falling apart at the seams?
They're all like
I've
posing.
just been
That's
briefed
so
by my
good.
government, and I'm prepared to issue the following statement. The Centauri ship that was attacked by one of our vessels was not simply a commercial transport. It was secretly transferring weapons of mass destruction to ships bound for the front lines where they were to be used in the war against our people. They have turned Babylon 5 into a weapons supply post. We cannot allow this to continue, even if
So
it means shutting
here we
down
have the
Babylon 5.
recap and the just reestablishment of the Narn
Centauri
Centauri War.
Babylon 5 continues with
And in that scene where we were watching the background players, Ms. Torkman was going through just at a very high level a lot of the acts of sabotage and crimes and things like that happened over the last season and a half. So we're definitely getting quite a bit of clip work on this.
But let's remember that the Babylon Project was conceived right after the Earth-Minbari War. At that time, the idea of a diplomatic station designed to keep anything like that from happening again was very appealing.
And now?
Not so much.
Certainly, we've rebuilt our military forces to a point far in advance of where they were 14 years ago. If the Earth-Minbari War started today, I think things might have gone a little differently.
Very much meant for the
while I'm
Minbari
not
to hear
sure
that.
how much concrete benefit we really derive from Babylon 5 any longer.
Here's what I'm hearing from this guy. Yeah, we needed the diplomatic solution for this whole thing, but we're a little bit stronger now, or we're a lot stronger now, and we don't need the diplomatic solution. We can just defend ourselves if they want to come start some stuff anymore.
We got guns. We got guns
Yeah,
now.
like because and this is the thing to discuss, okay? Because you now have the muscle power, which frankly you may not.
Yeah, I don't think they really do.
That like Earth thought they were something back then, but they weren't. But let's just say you assume that you have the muscle power. Does that mean that you should no longer try the diplomatic solutions? Does that mean you should no longer invest in the diplomatic way of being, or because we got guns, as you said?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking as someone who did his part in the front lines, I'd have to say we still haven't fully recovered from the Minbari War, and we haven't anywhere near the level of technology we would need in the event of another major conflict. And anybody who thinks that we could hold our own against the Minbari, the Centauri, and God forbid the Vorlons is just plain kidding himself.
You sound angry about it.
No,
I'm frustrated
I'm
with
not.
you pushing the issue.
It just sounds to me like jingoism and self-deception and armchair quarterbacking.
There you go.
Anytime you lose a war, you just wait a few years and you'll hear from everyone who thought that we could have won if they'd have done the fighting.
Except, of course, Captain, we didn't lose the war. The Minbari did surrender.
Semantics at this point, lady. Come on.
I love
Yep.
I love the look that Sheridan's giving her right now of like, yeah, no, we lost the war.
Uh-huh.
They might have surrendered there at the very end, but we totally lost that war.
It's like, you're so cute. I love you.
Yeah,
think that.
like that's so nice that you think that.
Ask anybody in that war who wasn't called general, and they'll tell you.
You tell
what's
us
up.
if we saw. Also, I love Sheridan. It's just like, no, we are not gonna. Also, by the way, you've got a senator back on Earth. You've got Sheridan right here on the front lines.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we could do this. We could. I've listened to the people, and that's what it is. And you've got this guy right here who's saying, let's talk about what this really looks like. Sometimes, folks, ask the people on the front lines, not some senator or some secretary who's sitting up in some government position, or some minister sitting up in a government position telling you what it is. Listen to the folks who are actually on the front lines.
Doing the
And
work.
I don't mean the people who've been disbarred or dislicensed or whatever. I mean, the people actually doing the work.
Right. The for real professionals doing the things.
Yeah.
Paul,
the actual experts.
Paul in the council chambers chat makes a good point, though, that Senator Quantrell isn't just talking to the Minbari. He's talking to the people on Earth. We're armed. We have guns. We could even take on the Minbari. Making
So
sure
we can stop spending money out there.
Well, not as we can stop spending money there, but if you don't line up, we got guns. We got lots of guns.
Yeah. Yeah. We can use them on you.
Exactly.
But Jeff, a government would never use their own military on their own people, right?
No,
not
of
a
course
free
not.
government.
No.
Not a free government.
Wouldn't happen. Especially with one as popular as President Clark.
Who are the people who run Babylon 5? And what do they do here? What are their hopes and dreams?
Jeff, our friend Andrew just arrived.
Yeah.
And he's asked that we restart the whole thing.
Cool.
You can only watch it for the first time.
I'm down.
Can somebody catch Andrew up on the just give him the clip show version of what's happened so far.
But aliens make up roughly 42% of Babylon 5's population.
Roughly
of them live here in the
42.18%.
So-called alien sector, which provides alternate atmospheres for 14 different species. Ironically, the alien sector is how the aliens here refer to the human part of the station, proving once
Is it
again
really?
that beauty and the beast are in the eye of the beholder.
Also, notice they call us aliens, so we're different and they're different, so they're bad.
Probably the most elusive of all the aliens is Ambassador Koshnaranik, a representative of the Vorlon.
He's the first time we heard
sent here
Naranik.
roughly 2 years ago. Nothing is known.
We
of
did.
the
We talked about
Vorlons.
it.
In
This is
fact,
the first time we got his last
expeditions
name.
sent into Vorlon space over the years have never returned.
It's Ambassador Kosh over here!
Mackie, quick, the camera. Ambassador Kosh, Ambassador, Cynthia Torkman, ISN News. Can
Nope.
we ask you a few questions?
He noped right out of there, man.
Did we get that? Tell me we got that. Did we get it?
Second in elusiveness to the Vorlon is Ambassador Delenn of the Minbari Federation. After initially refusing several requests for an interview, she finally agreed to talk to us.
So I remember this whole scene, and we referenced this in future episodes as well, but Delenn does not do well here. And I believe in our first time watch, I was particularly harsh against her. JMS speaks to this, and he says that this was likely Delenn's first real encounter with Earth media on this level. She's never been put into such a situation before, been challenged on screen like this, which would be the height of disrespect back home. You know, we learn later on that Minbari are only told what they need to know.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a very different thing. And so she's coming at this thinking, oh, they're going to treat me like I was being interviewed as one of the, Great Council. That's just going to be one of those things. But
Your appearance, though, isn't typical of your people, is it?
yeah, she just...
No. According to station
Hardened
records,
up.
you looked quite different a year ago.
I volunteered for this change in the hope that it would lead to a better understanding between our peoples.
Over 250,000 humans. were
Also,
killed
so I
in the war
could
with
keep
your
an eye
people.
on Sinclair and maybe have
How
his
do you
baby.
think the families of those victims will feel about your change?
I don't know. I would hope.
I think they would feel hurt, betrayed. That by assuming a human face, you're taking a part of us you're not entitled to. What would you say to them? To all the husbands and wives and children and brothers and sisters of the people who were killed in the war with your people, and now see a Minbari with a human face?
I'm sorry. Can we stop this?
Okay. Frankly, the questions that she is asking here,
highly inappropriate.
Also 100% fair.
Okay. I feel like it's such a
They
take.
might be. And here's the thing: those two things are not necessarily mutually exclusive. Like they can coexist, right? They might be diametrically opposed, but they can coexist. Very inappropriate, but also fair. Like what I mean by that is, like, Delenn should have had some answers for this, and I hear what you're saying. Like she thought they were going to come in and just sort of talk about whatever and afford her all of this respect. These are questions Delenn honestly probably should have thought of long before now. And if you are an ambassador and you're taking on an ambassadorial role, and I think maybe we can give her a little bit of grace considering the fact that Delenn is not necessarily a trained ambassador. She's a Great Council person that has come here to observe this guy. And now this guy's not here anymore. So she's not necessarily an ambassador, right? But this is a question she needed to have thought this through at some point, even just in private, like, hey, So what are they going to think? Not only what are my people going to think, what are they going to think when they see me do this? Well, I'm doing this for all of us. It's important that it's important to us. And this is what unifies us again. Like that. And frankly, that needed to be an answer that could come real fast. Now, the other thing I could possibly see is Delenn, correct me if I'm wrong, is probably experiencing certain emotions that she's never felt before.
It's possible.
Or maybe she's experiencing certain hormonal changes at various times throughout the course of a month that she has not yet learned how to navigate on a rotating basis yet. You know what I mean? And so maybe this is happening at just the wrong time for her, that she's feeling rather not just vulnerable, but all of a sudden emotional about some of this stuff.
Well, I think,
and she doesn't know how to navigate it.
And Becky in the council chambers chat is on the exact same place I'm at. After Gropos, where she was literally attacked for this thing, like this is a thing she had to have thought about. But beyond that, the multiple times in this season that she's been faced with, bro, what are you doing? From everyone from other Grey Council members to ground pounders to Chudomo mates of Lanier and everyone in between. She took this on herself. This wasn't something the Minbari wanted to do. This was her own self-righteous, I believe in this prophecy, so I'm going to do this.
This is the calling of my heart.
Yep, this is my
and you can't tell me no.
And now that I've done it and you're telling me no, or you're even questioning it, I'm going to get upset with you. With Ashen last week, and she's off. She's like, I'm out. I'm not even going to do it. And I praised her for that because, dude was just being a bigot. But when you look at that in the bigger context of how she's behaved since this change, it's like she is begging for, like, hey, look at me. I'm different. Please come at me and let me make a big deal out of it. Or it's like, hey, look, I'm different. Make sure you say something about it. But if you say something about it, I'm going to freak out.
So you just said something that cued in something I've never thought about before. Let me put a different spin on this and see how it sticks.
Okay.
You just said, based off what Becky said, back in Gropos, she was physically attacked. And she almost ate it.
She did. It was bad.
You know what I mean? Like, she could have died had Garibaldi not stepped in, Ivanova not stepped in, somebody stepped in.
I don't even remember.
Lanier I don't know. Somebody stepped in, right? She could have legit died in that moment when Earth people saw this face. What if what we're seeing now is her actually having a little bit of like PTSD flashback to that moment right there?
Oh, okay.
This is not emotion over like grief of what's going on. This is I'm like, she's almost having a panic attack.
Yeah.
Feeling like she's back in that spot again.
That is a really interesting take.
I really wonder if that might not be more like that actually makes this make a lot more sense to me. If you think about it in those terms.
Another thought I had during this.
Dodger, the council chambers, thank you guys. Dodger stepped in and saved her.
Another thought I had on this was Torquemann's coming at her. And I said this was highly inappropriate because she's like, hey, let's have an interview. Let's talk about your role. Let's talk about the station. And then she's coming at her for cultural appropriation, just out of nowhere. And there's a word, for that kind of journalism. I forget what it is. It's not great. But understanding that basically she was the deciding factor in launching the war, and then to have this put here. All these people died because of your decision, Delenn. And now you put this face on and expect everything to be cool. I'm just thinking about that in her mind. Like, there has to be some reckoning of that within her as well.
And I do want to, I remember when we first got through that whole piece in Atonement, I believe it was, when we first saw that. I am still going to defend Delenn, that just because hers was the last vote, it was not her responsibility. It was not on her solely.
I agree.
And the fact that she bears that guilt. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't personally take that guilt on.
That's where
I'm just saying she shouldn't because that's not her thing. But it still means she could.
If she voted second, she voted second, it would have been different. Whatever. And I agree. But
it's my fault because XYZ happened. Like,
I think I'm speaking from the narrative that she has, that she started it, that she did it. And also the fact that like 10 minutes later, she was like, hey, I made a mistake, but cat's out of the bag and you can't put this toothpaste back in the tube.
But see, here's the danger of this, Jeff. Okay, she's having this internal response right now. And what's going on inside all that we as the observer, all that the people who are watching on TV back home can do is just try to interpret what she's feeling now.
Yeah.
And either one, she's actually having a PTSD moment where she's flashing back and she's kind of having a panic attack, or man, she's feeling all this guilt.
Yeah.
And she knows she's wrong. And you see how this can spin out of control and take it whichever way you're going to take it. We've not asked, hey, Dylan, what's going on right now?
Yeah. Nope.
Tell us what's happening. Be honest, process it yourself, because you may not even really understand what's going on right now. But what's actually happening right now? And the fact is, we don't know.
We don't.
It's us, the viewer, interpreting something on top of her, probably based, frankly, on our own predilections of what we already believe or want to believe.
Exactly. I think Torkman's got exactly the reaction she was hoping to get.
Absolutely, she was. Also, highly inappropriate for her to be going after an ambassador like this.
Yeah.
And once again, she should have her media credentials pulled.
Agreed.
That's not censorship. That's
right.
unprofessional conduct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are ways to ask all of these same questions that are in appropriate ways.
Also, if Dylan had a PR team, they would have established what questions are okay and not okay to talk about.
And they would have stepped in and been like, we're done. This interview's over.
We've been given permission to record these proceedings in the council
And
chamber.
now, thanks to Commander Ivanova's investigation, we have proof of what we've been saying all along. An inspection of the destroyed Centauri has found conclusive proof that she was carrying fusion bombs and support equipment for ion cannons, mass drivers, and heavy energy weapons.
We have already filed.
When does Sheridan wear dress uniforms to the council?
He does. That's not an uncommon thing.
Is it? Is not to be used as a staging ground or a munitions depot.
I may make an
It is this kind of irresponsible activity, Ambassador, that endangers this station and everyone here.
Classified
It will not be
shipments are
tolerated.
transferred outside the station, ship to ship. The risk to Babylon 5 is minimal.
Oh, we've already seen you.
It was within 1,100 feet of a school, not 1,000 feet.
By their attack on one of our vessels, our ships have the right to carry any cargo they choose. We will not surrender our sovereign rights.
The sovereign rights of any race end when they threaten innocence.
They're doing what they always do, using details to distract us from doing what must be done.
That's huge. Using the details to distract us from what was done. How often, Brent, does that happen to us? Forever, right? I don't care who the company is, who the politician is, whatever. I don't care who it is. Someone does something bad, and all of a sudden there's going to be, well, there's this thing over here, and then everyone starts arguing about this thing over here, and we forget this other big thing here. They, the italicized capital they, are masterful at this.
Yeah.
We've got a shooting war going on out here.
You guys couldn't have waited till tomorrow, right?
The sounds you hear are heavy weapons on the Narn and Centauri vessels doing battle just outside Babylon.
Get out
5.
of their way,
the
lady.
station is on a priority 1 alert, and people are being evacuated to shelters.
2 non-vessels destroyed, 2 damaged and out of the fight. Remaining Centauri vessels are offering to surrender.
All right, pick them up, bring them in, and throw them in the brig. And I want every one of those ships scanned for weapons. And tell Ambassadors Jakar and Londo I want to see them in chambers now.
Right now.
Then you can throw them in the...
Panova's on top of it.
Then invite them again as firmly and as politely as you can. This nonsense has gone far enough.
So there's a thing, right? Sheridan and Ivanova have a working relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They have a short code. Also, because of this established relationship, they can say things to each other that the other one can interpret as that's not what he really means. He's just exaggerating. He's just blowing hot air. And the other guy can feel safe letting a little vent off like that, right?
Yeah.
And then you put the camera on them, and all of a sudden people, oh, you see what he said? And this is exactly why having media in the locker room, I just think in general is a bad idea, especially post game. Like, you do it during the middle of the week when they're doing practice and stuff, fine. But post game when stuff is feeling the way it's feeling, you gotta the cool off time is period. But recording private conversations like that just.
The nonsense Captain Sheridan referred to is the Narn Centauri War, which over the past several months has grown into a conflict which threatens to spill into other systems and lead to an escalation.
And here he is just brushing it
Prior
off
to the
as
battle we just
nonsense.
witnessed, ISN spoke with representatives from both sides, in order to better understand the history of this conflict.
Oh, this is good. I
Roughly
remember this.
150 of your years ago, the Centauri came to our world. We greeted them in peace and spent the next 100 years in chains.
So this would mean Jakar has never known Narn to be a green place.
Exactly.
Unless he's just that old, which I don't think
My
that Narn
family
lived that long.
lived in Jakamazad, one of the larger cities on Narn. My father served in a Centauri household during the last years of the rebellion.
Did you catch the name of the town that they lived in, or the side?
Jakamazad or something like that?
Jakamazad.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's an intentionality, because that sort of Islamabad like, it sounds very Middle Eastern, very not European, I should say. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds very, it's those guys are. I wonder if that was a little bit of intent from JMS, or if he just really liked Gazamazad.
Right. He's like, this sounds fun.
Like, yeah.
There are humans for whom the words "never again" carry special meanings. They do for
That's
us.
a good connection point right there.
How do you
We are
respond
just
to
like you.
reports that your military has lost 6 out of the
Well, especially for us living in a post 9/11 world.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know what I mean? This I mean, the closest thing to 9/11 that I can think of back at this point was Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Which was back in the 40s. Now, there might have been some other never agains, but nothing that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
You know,
To that scale.
Yeah. Not to the scale that 9/11 hit. And even, I mean, how many years has it been since 9/11 now?
24.
Like almost a quarter of a century.
Yeah,
right?
long time.
And we haven't had anything to that scale just yet. At least here in our country, certainly around the world, there have been places where we've seen that. You know, never again is this going to happen.
In the chat, Fabio just talks about how great Andreas Katsoulis is in this scene, but I want to shift that a little bit to Jakar. Just the masterful way he handled this. Porkman asks him this big question: tell me about the Narn Centauri thing. Like, what's the history? He takes that massive thing and takes it down to, let me tell you this very specific story about me, my mom, and my dad. And he tells it in a way that, like, it is impossible for you to not be like, oh my God, you poor kid, you poor Narn. I mean, just everything he did here is, the artistry is unbelievable. It's top notch.
So over in our council chambers, several of them kind of all together, all put up. We're talking about this. We were talking about Pearl Harbor, we're talking about 9/11, saying in this particular reference, this never again reference is a specific reference to the Jewish Holocaust. That was the reference. To which my question back then is, did JMS say that in the Lurker's Guide? Because clearly JMS has definitively said, this is what I meant by that in that moment.
I didn't see it when I was looking through it, but
you didn't see it in the Lurker's Guide. I wonder where he's.
Well, but I think it is the thing that just, like, that is the thing with the Holocaust is never.
Sure, I have no doubts that that's the appropriate response, because it should be, or that's what he was just saying. What I'm saying is that somewhere along the way, JMS must have said, talking about this, things that we've never forgotten. This, I was specifically referring to the Jewish Holocaust, just because, you know, we know how this goes. And so many people, I see you guys right now in the council. You're just repeating that's what he was saying. My question is where did he say that?
I don't think
he say that?
I don't think he had to. It'd be like if I said, I'm loving it, and you'd be like, where did he say he was referencing McDonald's? Well, it's the thing.
I don't know about that, but okay. And maybe that's what Suzanne says. Never again is not a generic phrase. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the thing with
about the Holocaust.
About the Holocaust, yeah.
Just not where
and everything leading up to it, like the whole totality of what happened there. Like,
okay. Hey, you know what? People in council chambers are actually echoing exactly what you're just saying. To which I'll go, cool. Brent just learned something, because that's not something that I grew up around hearing. That's what that meant. So I just learned something. Cool.
We will never fall back. We will never surrender.
I grabbed Thar's hammer.
When we first met the Narn, they were what? A primitive people. We gave them technology centuries ahead of their own. Took them with us to the stars. Taught them laws. Civilized them. They repaid us with terror and death.
Then you weren't driven off the Narn homeworld.
The Nan had rewritten
Amazing.
history, don't you think?
Please.
If they wanted us gone, we were hardly going to force the issue. But ever since, they have grown more and more irrational.
Revisionist
gone out of their
history
way
is
to
amazing,
harm
isn't it?
us, to seize Centauri territory. Finally, we had to take a stand.
But you take this, juxtapose it with how Jakar handled this exact same thing. He used a very personal story to show how evil the Centauri are in a way that you can't argue with. Londo is talking in this big general. They are awful. We, there's no I in what Londo said, and he's just coming off as he's coming off as a bloviating ambassador in the middle of a war.
Right.
Just the difference in the presentation between the two is so stark.
They were the ones who declared war, remember? We
It's like,
want
yeah.
only peace.
We want
And we blew up their colony, but I mean,
both sides say the same
they
thing, but
declared
as
war.
we've just seen, the reality is anything but peaceful.
If we don't act in our own defense,
I love how Londo is leaning back.
Right.
Centauri cruiser is arming weapons.
It looks like
opening
he's
their gun
Jabba the
ports.
Hutt sitting back there on his
cruiser will
thing.
blockade Babylon.
He's got all the
5
big,
until our
fancy
ships
stuff
return
behind
to
him.
Centauri custody, intact and unopened.
ISN, the galaxy's most important network.
This is great.
John, why aren't you outside playing with the other kids?
They hate me.
Now, John.
It's true. I'm different, Mom. I can feel what they think about me.
Don't worry, Johnny. We'll take care of it from here.
Mom, look, a Psychop.
That's right, Johnny. You know, there are a lot of other kids who feel just the same way you do. They're confused and afraid. They don't have to be. The problem isn't that other kids don't like you, it's that they don't understand you, but we do.
This isn't a bad
You're
commercial.
special. You're a latent telepath
Seems great.
about to come into full bloom.
How do I find one?
We're everywhere. For your convenience.
We're
We have offices
everywhere.
in schools and children's hospitals. We even have
That was a
mobile
bad
testing
edit
centers
right
that
there.
travel the country.
And we'll give him a mate and try to
Oh,
do
John,
stuff.
I can't
and
believe it. You've
give him a new
come so
haircut
far.
and
Just look at you. We're all so proud.
banded
I'm
collared
proud to be part of the
shirts,
Psy Corps.
buttoned
So
all the
remember,
way to the top.
If
So
you know someone
stylish.
who might be a telepath, or think you might be one yourself, help them get the help they need.
Okay, we just saw it, right? Saw it flash up.
Yeah.
JMS says that very few have noted the play on the title. The usual complete phrase is, and now a word from our sponsor. So
Right.
what was the only sponsored commercial shown in the 2259 version?
Oh.
It then says, what we did in the commercial was totally legit. We researched and found that the FCC considers a subliminal to be 2 frames per second. So we made the blip 4 frames total. But yeah, we're watching the broadcast. This is the only commercial.
That's an interesting thought. ISN is sponsored by, or this particular bit is sponsored by Psy Corps. They're the only ones. You got to placate your sponsors, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, interesting. That's great journalism, right? Especially for JMS, who was a journalist, right?
Exactly. Having that background and understanding how all of this works.
Right. But, it also has the integrity of a journalist, seeing journalists not abide by that integrity. Yeah.
You realize if they do attack the transport, they'll turn right around and fire on us next, figuring we'll have to retaliate.
That's an interesting camera angle.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Kind of makes him look evil, villainous almost.
Maint Bot 12. How often have
All
we heard about
tracking
the
stations.
maintenance bots?
You see their weapons targeting us?
That's interesting.
Open fire.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, not
That's a
so
big
good.
Oh, hell. Babylon control to Narn cruiser. We do not, repeat, we do not require assistance. We have the situation under control.
Narn cruiser powering up weapon systems.
Oh, that's right.
No, listen to me. We do not need...
Dude, look at that ship. That thing's a beast.
Dude, those spins on the back.
Uh-huh.
Get me that cruiser, and I don't care how you do it.
Get her off the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Close blast doors now!
Hey, is that foreshadowing of how Abonama's gonna eventually get it?
Oh, wow. Wow, with the thing flying right at it.
Just saying.
Probably not intentional, but I'll count it.
As journalists, we would be remiss in our responsibilities if we suggested that events such as those you've just witnessed were typical of the situation on Babylon 5. Like anyone else, they have good days and bad days. But there can be no question that it is a flashpoint that can only grow hotter as time passes. And yet growth only comes through pain and struggle. So perhaps we should allow Babylon 5 time to realize or
I'm sorry. I hate to keep pausing this.
No, you don't.
What did she just say? Growth only comes through pain and struggle.
Oh, man.
Jeff.
She is
this
talking
show,
to the people of Earth.
This show is sponsored by Psycor.
Uh-huh.
We know Psycor is in bed with
the Shadows.
And the Shadows' whole philosophy is
conflict, pain, growth.
What she just said there is straight out of the Shadows playbook.
That's so great. Because Brent, good on you. Because I just went to the level of, hey, people of Earth, things are going to suck. So, just know, but going to that next level of that, freaking brilliant. That's great.
And here's the thing. No one ever doing a first watch of this show would ever pick up on that.
Nope. Not even a tiny bit.
And I dare say probably most people doing a second watch would still not pick up on that. That's a third, fourth, maybe even fifth watch type thing to pick up on. Just taking a guess. And the only reason why you and I picked up on that, Jeff, is because we're watching for stuff
these things.
Like that.
Uh-huh.
Like we're looking for that kind of stuff. And I don't know, maybe people in the culture I caught it the first time around. Right. What are you talking about? And okay, fine.
They did. It should be weird because we don't know that about the Shadows right now.
Yeah,
we know none of the things.
Yeah. So either we're particularly normal, or we're just picking up on it because we're doing the podcasting thing where we're looking for it. But that's wow.
Yeah,
because we know the Shadows are kind of interfering in Earth.
Behind all that. Yeah. Oof.
One day, even exceed the dreams we have invested in it. We'll be back with some concluding thoughts right after this message.
So the growth only comes through pain and struggle. Maybe we should just let Babylon 5 figure it out.
Figure it out for themselves. Like, wow.
It's a shadowy thing. I got to tell you though, Jeff, as a parent, right now, I've often said, I still think the Vorlons are still the good guys. Comparatively speaking, I think the Vorlons are the good guys.
Yeah.
My problem with the Shadows is they don't allow the pain and struggle to come up naturally.
They force it.
They force it. Okay. But as a parent, when my children are in the middle of something, I am very aware that I don't always go to their rescue.
Exactly.
They've got to learn this one, and they will learn this through the pain and the struggle better than if I just go give them the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I say it would also be very remiss of me if I intentionally put them through pain and struggle.
Yeah. You're also on the outskirts in those situations where you're like, hey, figure it out. I'm going to still battle off the stuff over here. So they'll feel it, but they're not going to get hurt.
I got to tell you, so my kids are 13 and 10, right? About a year ago at 12 and 9, we were at Disney. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
My family's at Disney. And, in Disney at 7 years old, kids can ride by themselves.
Okay.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But they can ride by themselves. And so I was kind of saying, like, are they old enough now where, especially if they stay together, can I let them just sort of like go off in the park on their own? Like I didn't know. All right, folks, listen, I've never had a 12 and 9-year-old before this point. Like I'm still figuring this out. Are they old enough to kind of go? And so I was like, okay, you two stick together. You guys can go ride that ride, and I'll hang out over here, and you guys can just kind of like let's give them some leash. Let's see what happens. They got about 10 steps down the way, and I went, nope, not a good idea. But I didn't go call them back. I just watched them, and I followed.
Yeah, hung back a little bit, right?
And they went to ride. I remember it was Pirates of the Caribbean. I was 2 boats behind them. They didn't see me the whole way, but I had eyes on them for most of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, but I still needed to let them at least feel like they were off on their own doing that kind of stuff. But I got to tell you, I was, to what you were just saying, like, I'm still on the outskirts, like, nope, I wasn't quite ready for that one just yet. Like, so
now that we know that, we can make sure it doesn't happen anymore. We
learned
what humans do.
Yes, that is.
Misunderstandings aside,
we'll talk about it later, Jeff. We'll talk about it.
I was gonna say that is what humans do. My God, it's what we can do.
To a peaceful protest by my government, and with the intervention of Earth, perhaps can keep them from making a similar mistake.
We just watched how none of it was peaceful.
I
But
don't
I said
know
it was
anymore.
peaceful, so now it is.
I used to think so, but now...
Yes. But everywhere humans go, they create communities out of diverse and sometimes hostile populations. It is a great gift and a terrible responsibility. One that cannot be abandoned.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see.
Okay, we got it. We have to say it. because first of all, I'm not going to capture. I'm sure we captured it the first time. Humans have a unique quality in that they create communities out of diverse people. It is a terrible responsibility and whatever she said, and it's one that cannot be abandoned.
Right.
It's like nobody else is doing that. I don't know what the whole quote is, but put that up on a plaque somewhere.
It's the core message of so much sci-fi. Humanity's strength is in its diversity, bringing people together.
Now get the hell out of our galaxy.
Exactly.
Won't we?
If we weren't here right now, half the people in this room would be dead. Now that should be a good enough answer for anyone.
Look to your left. Look to your right.
Sure.
If we weren't here, one of
Are
those
you
would be
kidding?
dead.
I have a retirement pension to make, you know?
Yes.
Let's go right.
But not for any of the reasons that you've probably been told.
Before he goes there, what a great just contrast. We build communities. We're having the conversations. People come to like all these big things. Bro, I just got a pension to make. Like there's all this stuff here, and then there's just the people who show up every day just trying to make today a little bit better than the one before. I think it's huge.
We're not just holding jobs and having dinner. We are in the process of building the future. That's what Babylon 5 is all about.
That's what Babylon 5 is all about.
Only by making people understand
The show or the station?
can we hope to
Yes.
create a better world for ourselves and our posterity.
I'm Cynthia Torkman, ISN News. Good night.
Fascinating.
It is amazing to me. Go ahead.
I'll say fascinating they end on such a high note.
Yes, you and I are after this entire railroad job that they've basically been doing to end on that as a note with no commentary whatsoever.
Yeah. It's nuts. Although maybe it's not so nuts because maybe the psychology behind it, I don't know, but railroad job, beat him up, awful. Let Sheridan hit that piece at the end because then everything we're doing from that Earth Alliance is really that. We're just trying to create a better future. Like they let it sit in Sheridan's mouth instead of theirs. Maybe.
Well, I mean, there's certainly a piece of what is the point of this whole thing? Well, they start at the beginning. Is the cost and everything worth what we're putting into this? Because a lot of people don't think it is anymore. And they start with Senator McWhat's-its-face saying, right? No, can't do it. And we get all the way down here at the end. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. Yes, it's worth it. It's worth it on so many galactic levels, so many interplanetary levels. It's worth it to the individual dude who's just trying to make a pension.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's also worth it to his words, our inheritors.
I love that.
And it's worth it to all of them. And so yeah, we should keep doing it and keep doing the thing that we got going on. Interesting way to end that episode. Jeff, I want to start this part of our conversation with a simple question. I want you to think forward to the episode, and I forget the name, but I want to say it's in season 4, maybe season 3. It's the other news episode.
Yeah,
only this.
Illusions of reality or something like that.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
But in this time, it's a male reporter coming in, and he tries to sell them this line like, "Hey, listen, nobody else is giving you the press that I'm about to give you. Nobody's going to get what you have." And I remember thinking with that episode, like he comes in and he runs a complete and total railroad job. But if you watch his report, there is this sort of thread line that does seem a little subversive. Now he has to maintain a cover for his overlords. But if he puts in this little thread line that, yeah, it looks like it's really bad, but he's kind of skirting it in there. Maybe he actually wasn't just a piece of scum, but he's really kind of helping. Is this lady, because of the way they edited it and they ended on that note, is she maybe in that same vein as him, or is she just an awful reporter?
Right. I don't know. And I think that was the focus of our conversation about that episode, Illusion of Truth. We really asked that question. Did he let him Sheridan get that line out, or was this whole thing just him just being a piece of absolute garbage? And I think the answer, I like to think the answer is both. He's a piece of absolute garbage, and he gave him a piece. But I think this is one of two things. It's either let's put our agenda into Sheridan's mouth and let that be how we sign off, or they just don't care. And I don't know that they put that much intent in. They either put a ton of intent into it or none at all. I don't think it's her trying to throw him a bone in any way. I didn't get any impression from her of like, oh, you're winning me over in some way or anything. She's just, she's slamming everybody.
Jeff, that's our second watch of And Now for a Word.
Yeah. Dude, we talked about, you said at the beginning, second time through is kind of boring for us, but we didn't know what was coming.
We didn't know what we didn't know.
And now that we
did,
Brent, this episode is huge. It's compelling. It's big. There's foreshadowing. There's world building. There's actual execution of stuff happening. Like, it's so brilliant and so well done.
Can I tell you something? Specifically looking for all the clip show parts of this, watching this now, I didn't feel like there was really a lot of that in here.
We lost that, like the little game.
There was a little bit, but it didn't feel like there was a ton in there. This felt like there was this whole other thing. And I know what everybody was saying. It's not a clip show. It shows you what's going on back on Earth. And I'm sitting here going, it's showing you a lot more than what, and it's so much more than just a clip show. It's so much more to this episode than just catching us up on what's been going on. And I never knew it. I never saw it. And I wouldn't have seen it back then.
Couldn't have seen it because now we know. We know this is again the value of the second watch on this. And I think, we talked at length on our first time viewing around the messages in this one, and there's a lot of conversation to be had around that. But my real focus this time around is just that. Like, yes, it's a clip show without being a clip show. And it's an episode that moves the story forward. It lives in the past, it lives in the present, and it's setting up the future. It's just such a brilliantly put together episode.
I think there are places where I forget exactly what this episode is telling us has already happened.
Yeah.
Because it's just wide knowledge. Like everybody should just know, like going through that whole thing with the Lynn of like, you were this and now you're this and you transition and this people had a hard time with this and Watching this the first time, it's like, yeah, of course. That's what we were just watching. Now it's like, oh no, but there's this whole other thing going on, when she's saying it. And so listen, I will echo what I said, what you said the first time. This is an episode that clearly is designed to catch people up on where they need to be.
Yeah.
But it is so much more than that. And my respect is off the charts for JMS and how he put this episode together and the way he crafted this to do the job it needed to do without doing it the way that it's really, frankly, ever been done and maybe never been done since.
Yeah.
It's so good as just a single 45-minute piece of art for doing what it needed to do and doing it in the way that it did. Do you need this episode?
No.
As a part of the overall story of Babylon 5?
No. And here's the thing.
No.
Most episodes so far in season 2, you don't need without them. Right.
It's less. This and truly this episode in many ways does feel like, okay, something is about to happen. We are about to launch. Like we feel like we're on the precipice of something right now with where we are.
When I was going through the JMS stuff at the beginning, he talked about the letter he wrote to Warner Brothers saying, hey, this is an important episode. He said he wrote the letter to explain why it was done and why it should be produced. And then he talked about how, hey, this is a great one to introduce people to the show.
Yeah.
The reason he thought this was important to be produced, and this is the message from JMS, and this message, Brent, is more timely right now than it was in the mid-90s when this came out. It was timely then as well.
Yeah.
But he says that uncritically dismissing everything you see on TV is just as wrong as accepting everything that you see. What people need are the tools to examine what they see and hear and weigh them against the true gold standard, common sense. And I take that a step further. Common sense, yeah, but there's a whole, common sense, if it was as common as we think it is, we'd be in a different thing or whatever. But it's critical thinking. We have people that fall into two camps, and he named them here. Well, the news said, so it's this. Or, but the news said, so it's the opposite. Again, just two totally... Just think for yourself. Lay that lens of common sense to anything that's being said, and most of what we're being told now, in the past, likely in the future, doesn't stand up
No.
to even the first blush of like, oh, does this make any real sense? Yeah, it does not. It really doesn't.
Jeff, were there any new messages you think you found this time?
I don't know that I found new ones outside of this one. I think we did a really good job in the first time pulling out the messages, but I think what I really got out of this, and this isn't so much a message as it is just a way to think about the world, I guess, is we have Londo coming at things at this big macro, all these people suck and we are all such victims, and G'Kar saying me, my mom, and my dad. That's one thing. We talk about this a lot on this program. When you think in generalities and big things, it's easy to hate. That's where harm can happen. When you think about that person who has a name and a family, it's a lot harder to hate. G'Kar's approach to this touched me in a way where I was like, oh my God, what a horrible history. We have to uncouple the Narn and the Centauri in some way. Whereas Londo's was just like, wow, I'm Kosh. Let them both blow up. That's the way it came. That's what I kind of got out of this additionally. What did you get?
Man, there were a few things. We talked about it in the episode, so I'll mention them here, but I'm not going to rehash them. Listen to the experts in the field. We know when the senator or whomever is twisting stuff and doing the jangling. Like, let's actually listen to the real folks out there, okay? Not everything is a conspiracy theory, folks.
Right? Yeah.
It's really not.
Some things are just what they are.
Yeah, exactly. Delenn said this: the sovereign rights of any race end when they threaten another.
Yes.
G'Kar says, why does any civilization seek to destroy a less advanced one? Because they can.
Because they can.
Or land. And I'm like, yep, talk about a mirror to society. Garibaldi says this, and you pointed this out, Jeff. He says, we'll learn.
Yes.
It's what humans do.
Yeah.
It's what we do. Man, can we apply this to hope for a better future? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, look, we're going to go through this. The struggle, here, let's boil it down to this. The struggle is worth it. No, it's not going to be pretty. No, it's not going to be clean. Yes, it's going to be very messy at times.
Yeah.
But the struggle is worth it. Why? Because we as a species, we learn. Now, sometimes we have to learn the same lesson over and over and over again before it sticks.
Over a period of hundreds or even thousands of years.
Right? Sometimes each generation has to learn it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But we learn. It's what humans do. So is it worth it? Yeah. Humans have a unique ability to create communities.
Yeah.
These are things that we are learning. But I love what Sheridan said at the end. And I think we may have talked about this in the first go around, because if we didn't, then we certainly slacked in our job. When you stumble a lot, and I'll say this, I think we, at least in my country here, have stumbled a lot over the last at least 20 some years, 250 years.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. About 250 years.
Sure. But and I'm not going back to just current stuff. I mean, over the last 20, there's been a lot of stumbling in my adult life that I've seen. And he says this: when you stumble a lot, you begin to look at your feet. What we need to do is to lift our eyes back to the horizon so we can see our ancestors and our inheritors. Now, there were lots of other words that the full quote is there. But that's when you stumble a lot, you begin to look at your feet. That's the natural way. We're caught up in the muck and the mire of this. And we've really got to stop. And we need to look up and see the whole thing. We need to see the horizon. We got to see where we've come from. We got to see where we're going. And that's what we need to be focused on, not the ground at our feet. I remember when I was learning how to drive, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to say something.
I was just, that ties to what Sheridan said in the council chambers as well. Or what G'Kar said. They're distracting us with the details. Look at this thing. Look at this over here instead of the big actual thing going on. Well, we do that by looking at our one step in front of the other instead of looking up.
I remember when I was learning how to drive, Jeff, the driving instructor told me this. He said, don't, like, I was kind of like trying to keep your car between the lines, right? He said, don't look at the road right in front of you. What you want to do, look as far out as you can. Look at the car that's as far out as out there. Look at the hill. Look where the road goes off. Like, look out there. And keep your eyes focused there. And if you keep your eyes focused out there, guess what's going to happen? You're going to stay in the lines.
Yeah.
But if you start focusing on the part of the road that's directly in front of your car, you know what you're going to constantly be doing? You're going to be shimmying left and right because things you're just going to constantly be doing this. Focus on that out there and keep going. When you're plowing a field, I hear the same thing is true. when you're plowing a field. Now, I've never personally plowed a field.
Like to keep like a straight line, right? You
look at a tree and you follow the tree. You don't look at the ground that you're plowing. You look at a tree and you follow the tree. Yeah. Right? You find yourself a fixed point and you follow that point out there. Lift our eyes back to the horizon. Man, great episode.
Yeah.
All the way around. By the way, I'm pretty sure we rated this one like 5 deltas and 4 Starfuries.
We'd be correct to have done so.
And yeah, like, oh my gosh. So good. So good. Well, Jeff, along with researching this show and looking at those things that, bring up the messages and all that sort of stuff, the main thing, really, this is the crux of the whole thing. We are creating the 100% completely accurate and definitive ranking of Star Trek, Stargate, or Babylon 5. We're doing it for Babylon 5 season 2. Hey, you know what? Our current top 5.
Okay.
We got 14 episodes on the docket, but our top 5, let's see if our top 5 is going to be changing. Number 5 is an episode called All Alone in the Night. Number 4 is A Race Through Dark Places. 3 is The Geometry of Shadows. 2 is Soulmates. 1 is Coming of Shadows. Jeff, you get one chance and one chance alone to place this in the definitive and correct position in our ranking. Is it in the top 5? If so, where? Or are you wrong?
We'll not be wrong. What's interesting, we usually do this afterwards, but I want to do it before I rank it. In our first time viewing, where do you think we placed this one?
This was probably way low. I'm going to guess like 16 or below, like 18, 19.
It was 19.
There.
19.
Was it 19? Yeah. Which I think if we were to rewind the tape, the reason we placed it there is because we felt like it wasn't an important episode.
Exactly.
Not that it was a bad episode. It just wasn't an important episode to muster much more than that.
This, Brent, might be the episode with the largest margin of change from first time to second time. And I feel like there's going to be thoughts around this ranking, but I'm going to put this one, Brent, as our new number 4 above A Race Through Dark Places and right below The Geometry of Shadows.
So, Jeff, ultimately, this is our ranking, right? Our definitive 100% completely accurate ranking.
It is, yeah, immutable, objectively correct.
It's immutable until we mute it.
Correct, yeah.
So, or mutate it, I guess is really the operative phrase there. Let's do just a quick check-in. Okay. Because something is standing out to me. And I'm wondering, does one of these not belong? Looking at our top 4 episodes, there's The Coming of Shadows, Soulmates, which I love that episode.
Yeah.
The Geometry of Shadows, and Now for a Word. Do we need to make a shift here? Is this the actual correct top 4, or are we due for a shift? Getting rid of some recency bias and all that sort of stuff and looking at it objectively, or are we still 100% correct?
You're going to hate me for what my thought is on this. But Soulmates.
Don't get too crazy. Don't you get too crazy on me now, Jeff.
I'm not going to say it doesn't belong in the top 5 at this point, but I'm going to say it doesn't belong in the top 3.
I agree. No, I agree.
What I actually think, okay, I am placing And Now for a Word where it is because we've placed some others lower because they are pavement laying episodes, right? Mm-hmm. But this one, between the messages that it carries, the masterful artistry that it was this episode was constructed, written, performed, directed, lit, everything. Like it's a masterpiece. So what I'm thinking right now, and I'm open to debate, is moving Soulmates just below And Now for a Word.
A Race Through Dark Places was the one with Bester, right?
Yes. Underground Railroad, which is a great episode.
I think the actual conversation is, and I like All Alone in the Night. I think that's fine.
It's an okay one.
Soulmates is such a great episode on so many levels.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. Okay. I think the actual debate is, does it go above or below Race Through Dark Places? Not, does it drop below And Now for a Word? And I think I could make the argument, and you said it, it's the Underground Railroad episode and all of that it carries. It's possible to me that this is actually the Soulmates is currently actually our number 5 episode.
Wow. Let me put it there and just see what it looks like.
Well, it's not going to create the Christmas tree effect.
I know. I'm all about that Christmas tree effect on another show.
Right.
But but just kind of feeling this out. Because I heartburned with And Now for a Word on A Race Through Dark Places. But I think that And Now for a Word touches on like everything but the Psychor, but the Bester stuff, but it touches on the Psychor stuff. Like A Race Through Dark Places is an incredible view of this thing. And Now for a Word covered the series. I think we got it all. I got to be honest, Brent. I think this looks good with Soulmates moving.
I think Soulmates is actually our number 5 at this point. I do like it better, certainly than Gropos, and I like it better, I think, than All Alone in the Night for sure. I think this is so our top 5 as it is right now, official, immutable, and 100% completely accurate. The Coming of Shadows, The Geometry of Shadows, and Now for a Word Shadows, and A Race Through Dark Shadows, and then Shadowmates.
Oh my gosh. And yeah. You should transition us to the next episode, because that's an interesting on this exact theme.
Well, Jeff, that's going to do it for And Now for a Word. Moving on to our next episode, Jeff. We are watching In the Zahadum of Shadows. Sorry, In the Shadow of Zahadum. Jeff, In the Shadow of Zahadum, we have still, you guys keep telling me about the Zahadum, and we've never heard about it yet. What is this episode about? What did you think this episode would be about the first time we came through and we had to predict and we hadn't watched it yet?
My prediction was very simple. This is going to be the start of the actual Great War that's referenced in the opening credits.
Oh, yeah. That was the year the Great War came upon us. And you were so mad that they gave us that.
Yep.
And I say it was a brilliant line.
Still angry.
That's expectation.
What was your prediction?
I said this was the return of Zathras.
Okay.
It's the return of Zathras. That's all it would be.
He's in the shadow of Zahadum.
Yeah. Zathras, the return of Zathras. Yeah.
This is a big one, Brent. This is one of the pole in the tent episodes for this season for sure, and for the series maybe overall as a whole. And we're gonna watch it right here next week. Thank you for being here with us for this in-depth discussion on the second time of And Now for a Word. It was fantastic. I'm glad you were here with us. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, rate, review, leave a comment if you're able to. The one thing you can do that makes a real difference, and we appreciate so much, is share this show. And what better time? We're heading into the shadow of Zahadum. This is the stuff, man. This is the stuff. Share it. Get your buddies watching it. It's going to be fantastic. So we'll see you next week. Until next time.
Hey,
until
Jeff.
then, yeah, Brent, what's up?
Not much. I just wanted to take a second for this word from our sponsors.
And just like that, we've got Cynthia Torkman here getting up the other side of the whole thing. Hey, everybody, thank you for hanging out. Brent clearly had to run. I'm also going to have to get out of here. My kid's been flying solo this whole time, so I apologize for cutting Club 65 short, but it's good to see you all. Be well, and we'll see you next time for the Shadow of Zahadum. Of Zahadum.